Hey, we're in the Gulf South. We're right now in Orlando, Florida, getting ready to head down a little bit and go and be with a couple of communities. I am looking forward to this tour stop. I'm looking forward to meeting with communities that we've been speaking with, as well as being able to move into a phase of implementation and really looking at how do we get the implementation resourced for the resiliency and restoration plans that these communities have come up with. We've had assistance through the National Academy of Sciences, and we want to continue in getting assistance so that we can now resource. We found out what they needed. Now it's time to resource what they need. And so we're getting ready to go and meet with them. You all are coming with us. It is a powerful thing, and I'm looking forward to being with you all and journeying with you all as we meet with the people.
Florida is often associated with tropical weather and beautiful beaches, but it is also highly hurricane-prone, leading to widespread destruction and economic losses. Additionally, the state faces intense heat waves worsened by climate change, which pose health risks to vulnerable populations and increase energy demand, straining power grids and raising utility costs.
Your destination is on the right.
We want to make sure we're centering the community as impacted, so we want to focus and let those be our main characters. Right over here, we've got a good spot to put like a charging station, cooling station right here. But also he wanted to see about turning this into outreach, being able to like do feeding and stuff like that for resiliency in this area. And then he wanted to do solar everywhere.
This neighborhood, almost immediately from being built, was in a place of intersection. This church has cultural resiliency, which has allowed it to survive when other churches have closed down. Are the Episcopal Church and the Methodist Church. We have very similar ethos, and we adapted to the cultures. We've brought our neighbors in, whereas the other denominations kind of stayed insular and eventually shut down and were displaced themselves. Hallmarks of the history of this church is this church was allowing Black preachers to come in and preach at the pulpit when Orlando was still segregated. And this church also actively worked with another Episcopal church, Emmanuel, to welcome in the children from Peter Pan, Operation Peter Pan. First, the church worked to help displaced Cuban families, and then afterwards, the church actually owned 2 housing units that it used to house families being reunified after Operation Peter Pan, bringing the parents in to get reacclimated to being with their children and living in the space.
The people in our surrounding communities, there's alternatives being offered, but those alternatives are really made available to homeowners, and they have yet to trickle down to individuals who couch surf, individuals who rent, individuals who move from place to place. So many of my members are renters who, if they're able to buy an electric vehicle, they're not readily able to have a charging station because they live in an apartment or a condo. Or if they have high power bills, it's not a choice for them to put solar panels on a home they do not own. For me as a pastor, I'm really looking to find solutions for all my members, from those that own their own homes to those that rent, to those that don't have a stable home to call their own.
Hey, Hey y'all, I'm Michael Malcolm. I am the founder and executive director of the People's Justice Council. I'm also the executive director of Alabama Interfaith Power and Light. A lot of folks call me Rev, and some people just call me Michael, but you all feel free to just call me as long as you do call me here. I want to thank you, one, for being here, because I understand the importance of community and community coming together and working together to solve the issues that ill our communities. And on that behalf is why we started From Resilience to Restoration. We look at it out of 3 different categories. It's the ecological restoration, then it's the economical restoration, and then the ecumenical restoration. Let me break that down so you all aren't necessarily lost by that. So when we look at the ecological restoration, that's speaking about the environment. I know from spending time with Miss Luana last time I was here, but also here in Jan, Florida got some issues. And I ain't just talking about Ron DeSantis. I'm talking about the environment and how the environment is actually attacking community, but it's driven by something. It's driven by something. It didn't get this bad overnight. It's been happening for a while. And here's the issue. The issue is our communities, when I say our, I mean Black, brown, and indigenous communities, communities that look like you and I, aren't necessarily protected when it comes down to disaster. And not only disaster, but disaster recovery and relief. It's not equitable, believe it or not. It's not equitable at all. What we're trying to do is kind of right that ship a little bit. See if we can't get resources, and you all doing your resiliency plans and your restoration plans, we want to now start moving into some implementation and see if we can get monies and resources, help to be able to put those plans in place. And so that's why we come back. We're doing a documentary so that we can record this. We want to send this to every government official that we're in contact with, that we're connected with, so they can see what's happening not only in Orlando, not only in Florida, but throughout the Gulf South, because the Gulf South is definitely in trouble. And the decisions that are being made right now are determining that we are not getting out of this anytime soon. And we won't get out of it unscathed. So we've got to do something. As community, we have to come together. As community, we have to fight collectively. That brings us to the economical. It's going to take resources. But then it also takes us to this ecumenical piece. The ecumenical restoration looks at how do we remain community or even reestablish community, in particular after disasters, in particular after you've had to endure trauma for generations.
I am Janice Lucas, the Panama City Commissioner for Ward 2 and Executive Director of the LEAD Coalition of Bay County. We're here at the House of Hope, which is in the heart of the historic African-American community called Glenwood. We also have a neighboring community adjacent to Glenwood called Millville. And since, the changes that have taken place throughout the South and in America from the 40s, 50s, 60s, and forward, this community, these neighborhoods have proven to be quite resilient.
So we came into this building, there was nothing but these brick walls. So there's no roof or nothing. We built this building off of grouper. Wow. My husband, we sold fish.
Wow.
It's the truth. This is how we built the building.
And built this building off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Old school. You'd be surprised if you saw what this building looked like when we came here. All this, even that was donated.
Was this an old bank?
It was old Lutheran church.
It was old Lutheran.
It was old Lutheran church. That the architect of it, there was circles they already had. It was like they used to do a daycare in here. A sanctuary.
Okay. Nice.
Look, we just country folks, man. Nothing fancy, fabulous. God gave us 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, and we're working with it.
It looked like y'all working
We
that.
started out with a van on going to 10 court, picking up people. We had 15.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tammy Anderson. I am the pastor of the House of Hope Outreach Ministry here in Panama City, Florida. When I think of environmental resiliency, I'm thinking of the fact that how we have experienced Hurricane Michael here in Bay County, Florida in 2018. And since that time, it appears as though we are still on the upward rise to try to regroup as a community for the losses that took place. Also the mental impact that it had post-traumatic on most of the community people, and as well as the financial setback that it had with those who lost homes and are still displaced at this time. And due to those different entities and issues, we are still rebuilding, and the resilience part of it is coming together mind-wise, in a mindset to work together to make the difference and to rebuild Bay County.
My name is Donna Pilson. I am the Executive Director of Rebuild Bay County. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that serves as Bay County's long-term disaster recovery organization. The fact that we have strong houses of worship is definitely a plus. As a community and as organizations and entities that hold resources or can access resources, we need to be able to, the fact that we should recognize those houses of worship as facilities that are known and trusted, and being able to engage with those houses of worship, like the House of Hope here. We've made partnerships with other houses of worship that, by engaging them, and they're already familiar, the community is already familiar with them, I think we can distribute resources equitably and faster because they're already in the community.
So all this is free clothing. It's going to be here. It's going to be closed off. And so people can come through this door, and we'll hold that up, bring clothing, but it's going to be in everything circular, hanging up, whatever. And this is going to be where we do community forums, where we come in here. Also, if there is like hurricanes coming somewhere and people need a place, a refuge, they can come here. We want to be able to give out boxes to give people like the flashlights and batteries and, all kinds of things, water and things that they're going to need, some supplies, toiletries and things. They can come get a huge box for your family. And we also only have some generators. So that is our goal as far as this building is concerned. But also, we just wanted to have those conversations when they were talking about being an advocate, being informant, to let people know what's available in the community, resources that are available. This will be a place where we can have like town forums to educate people, to make people aware of what is available in our community. So it's going to be called the Flores Pyramid Community Life Building. So a lot of community activities, tutoring, making sure that we have mental health for our youth in our community, and free mental health. So everything in here pretty much is, and throughout the week is whatever we do, free to the community.
My name is Overseer Phyllis Greer, born and raised here in Panama City, Florida, by way of Lynn Haven. I think one of the things that we must consider is the allocation. And when things are allocated, they must be accounted for. It is important that we continuously look at what we've offered, measure it, and revisit its ability to meet the needs of the people.
And I've heard some of my other peers share about advocacy, but I also think about collaboration. And I, as a pastor, I work with Pastors United here in Bay County. So we're trying to work together so that it is very diverse. And so therefore the diversity of it brings the equality or the within the community, whereas everybody will have the same information and will be able to be aware of resources that we do have available within the community. Making sure that not only that people are aware of the resources, but they're knowledgeable on how to attain these resources. And making sure that funding is like an even keel. Like it's, you know what I'm saying, it's all across the community and not in just one area, but everybody's afforded the opportunity to receive funding.